Hey guys, and welcome back. So in this video what I'm doing is I'm looking at a Sinclair Spectrum for one of our local computer user guys who lives just a little way away from me, and he got it and it was meant to be working fine, and then he found out that it started having RAM issues, and when he checked on it there were a few problems with it. Anyway, he's contacted me a wee while ago and then has had some other stuff come up, so he didn't get back to me. And yesterday I made contact with him again, and he said, yeah, can you come out and pick it up and have a look at it for him. And from what we've worked out, and that he has told me, is there are a couple of traces that are gone on it, and just to check it for anything else. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to fix the two places he said that's wrong, but I'm going to go over the board anyway. And because he was having the odd issue, I'm going to test all the 7.4 series ICs because they're all pluggable, and I'm going to look at those and just make sure they're all okay, and there's not some that might be a little bit on the funny side. Alright, so grab yourself a drink, a few tasty little snacks, and a comfy chair, and let's get on with it. So guys, here we have it. That's the power pack he gave me because it is still set to center positive on it. It's had the RF mod done to it, so this actually has composite out now rather than RF, so which is good, which means I could just stick it straight onto the Commodore 1084S. I wanted the power pack because I didn't have a center positive, and it saved me making up a lead for it. Anyway, we're going to get into this and open it up and have a look and find out what we can see. And as with all these sort of early machines, they do have these really soft plastic connectors with a keyboard, so you just need to be a wee bit careful with those. So they're out. And yeah, it looks pretty tidy in here. Right, so we are going to down the back here. Yeah, it was down the back here is where he was telling me that where this has had it's got a little bit going on. I will just bring you in a little bit better focus. Right, so it's just down the very back here is where the problems are with the tracks. So I'm picking up, probably going to take this out of here. This should be just the one screw. Not all the ICs are in sockets, so that's okay. But yes, I'll need to have a look at that back bit anyway to see what's going on down here. So I need that. So we'll take that screw out and get this board out. Right, so that's got that out. Right, I just need to get the magnifying glass just to have a quick look at this guy, so you might be able to see it, but it's right down there next to the sockets right here. This is the area that needs to be repaired. So we'll see how we go with it. I'm going to get in your way for a minute. Yeah, just looking at that, there's a bit of a mess on the back as well. Over here. Up over here is a bit of a mess around here. And it looks like one of the through holes, it's lost the pad and it's not connected to the wires either on the back here. So I'm probably going to have to clean all this up, I think, before I even have an idea of what we're going to do. I was looking maybe recoppering the tracks, because I do have self-adhesive copper, but I may not be able to do that. I might have to run traces to do it. Yeah, it's just like yeah, some of them are pretty bad. Yeah, so I think I need to probably find a schematic for this, just to check out what goes where on the very back of it, and I think see where we go from there, at least anyway. Yeah, I think so. Alright, anyway, what I'm going to do is I'll clean this up first and take a note of what's been done on the back here, what bodge wires have been put on the back here. I think, and then we need to get all this off to find out what we've got to deal with. Alright guys, so I'll be back soon. Okay, so I've got all that done now, and what I found was the bridge wire he had across one of these connections at the back wasn't making connection to the 3 in a row that it had. So there was a break there in the trace. So I thought, well, I'll remove the wire, and then when I re-put the wire through, I'll just run it down across those 3, and that'll bridge all those 3 back together again. I need to get the schematics because there's a couple of pads missing, and there looks like there's a broken track or 2 on the back. And then on the front, and now with that wire off, I can have a look and see what's wrong where, and what I need to fix. Yeah. Alright, so I will do that. I will get me a schematic for this board. Better. So, but that's the little wire he had jumping across it, and yeah, when it was going across those 2 holes there, it wasn't making earth along one side. One side is they're all joined together down and 3 in a row, and it wasn't making contact to the other 2, so that could have been part of his problem as well. He did tell me he did try to fix this at one part, and then he decided no, he's going to stop, because he sort of thought he's going to make it worse than what it is. So I mean, just as well, but some of these tracks are tiny, even for me. Some of this I might take back a wee way and then just run a wire and attach it to the other side. I know there's one that's broken over here that goes through to a through hole underneath the headphone or the microphone, or whichever one it is, on the back here. So we can sort of find a way to get that to come back up through the top again. We can find a hole somewhere to come through. If we need to, that is, anyway. I mean, failing that, we can always bridge a small wire, insulated wire, just run it across and attach it on. The other thing I noticed is this edge connector, that the tinning they did on it is actually getting quite worn in places, so there may be an issue with connections there at a later date. So something needs to be done with those. They need to be redone with silver or something like that, or even retinned. But that's not what I'm doing. I'm actually fixing this, and then once this has been fixed, then we go on to plugging it in, just trying it out to make sure it works fine, and then it can go back to them. So hopefully a quick and easy job, not like the last few. But these are one of the rams he was saying that were plugged in, and one of them had the leg out, which was causing an issue that he didn't realise until after he'd been around over here and came back to here, and then he found out that that's what the problem was. But anyway, guys, we will get on with this, and I will have to download a schematic and just find out what wires are meant to go where on the back here. So I will shoot off and do that, and then we will come back to this and decide what needs to be done and fixed and give it a test. Catch you shortly. Hey guys, so we're back at this Spectrum, and I've just done a little bit of work with it. I'm found there's a couple of broken tracks in it, so I'll just let you see what I've done on this back end here. You might be able to see it. The trace that goes across the back here to this finger was broken, so I put a wire on here. I've also done the Oki jumper because this has got Oki RAM in it, so I've put the jumper back into there. Now the one over by the TI, this pad through the through hole to the pad on the back here, there was no connection to that, so I've had to put a wire through that through plating hole to the top to so yeah, so I've done that through. So because these two center ones, when you bridge or whichever side you go on this, the center one goes down onto here, onto the ULA, and if that's not making connection, that's probably causing part of the problem with the upper RAM. I've got that part done. I've tested continuity from the ULA through to the other side of this and to the Oki RAM, which comes into this side, and these are all bridged together, so they'll go through whichever way they go, and then they will go off on their respective little tracks to wherever else. The only thing I've got to check now is below where this one is that I came through. That one has no pad at all, and this one has a partial pad. Now I don't know if these are all bridged together or not. I would say they probably are for the jumpers. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to have to dig out a schematic of the issue 3 board and just have a look at it to see which way around. If they're all bridged together, I will run a separate bridging wire down here, and I'll probably have to pop one through the middle hole because there's no pad on this side, and I don't know if it's plated through to the middle side. So I need to check that. And just down here, these pads are a little bit dodgy as well. This one goes to a main wire there. That one comes down to a wire over here. So I know these are not all connected together. And I just got to make sure none of these are shorting because the pads have been quite damaged. So I just got to make sure none of those are shorting, and that there's continuity going through both sides. It's just this end one over here. I need to check these ones down here too, whether there's an issue with those or not. Alright, so that's where we're up to, and then once all that's done, just double check everything, and then I think plug it in and see if it all fires up. This, as I said, this has had the RF mod done to it, or a RF mod done to it. It's not like a lot of them I've seen where they use a capacitor. this is just wired through to the board and has a resistor off this other leg, heat shrink that goes to one of the connections on the side. I've not looked into the mod. I've not been told to look at the mod. The only thing I've been told to do is to sort all out this side here and to check any of these socketed ICs to make sure they're all okay. Alright, so that's where we're up to. I'm now going to just jump online and see what I can find in the way of pictures or schematics for this back part. I think an over the top view of it would be good. That would then let me know what goes where. A nice thing for these would be, I know some of the computers did it, whereas you'd have a black and white of the track layout without the components in, and it just showed you all the tracks where and all the traces where. That would be really, really handy for these where the boards weren't made very well and the copper comes off. So that would be really, really handy. So I just need to find out what goes where there, and then there's just the other jumper on this. Then there's just the other jumper on this side I got to put on for the RAM, which I think is I have to set it to either 3 or 4 or something like that from memory. I'll just jump online and have a quick look. But anyway, that's where we're up to, guys. So I will jump off and have a look, and we'll come back to it, and hopefully it will be all up and running when the next time we come back. Alright, I will see you shortly. Okay guys, so back at it again. Checked it all out. Yep, everything was right, and the Oki RAM, from what I had a look at, I thought it was the numbers, but it's not. The Oki RAM has 2 different letterings. One is H and one is L. So you had to make sure you jump which one you have. So this is H, Oki H, so I've jumped the H. So I've jumped the Oki H. So I've done all that. Checked all my bridges, bodge wires and jumpers I've had to put in. Everything looks fine, so I might just sit this back in the case, get the power pack, put a lead on it, and see if it fires up. I don't think we need the keyboard for it to fire up. From memory, I don't think you do. So I think we'll just give that a bit of a go and see if it works. I don't have any software for this either, so it's just a matter of trying it. I jump online and get a basic, I suppose, type in test for doing RAM checks and things like that, I suppose. I'll have a look online and see what I can do. But I will grab the case and that and a cable and the power pack, and we'll plug all this up and see how we go. Back in a minute. Alright guys, so I've got it all hooked up and ready to go. I will switch this little camera around so you can see the screen over the side here, and we will power this up. I don't have the audio to the monitor connected. I don't know if these beep when they power on or not, so I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, I will sort this camera out and then we will power it on and see what we get on the screen. Not sure you can see that, but it does come up with Sinclair down the bottom down here. It's probably a little bit hard to see. I'll turn it back on again for you. As you see, it does its initialization, and down the very bottom it does say Sinclair. Alright, so that's working, so I will put the keyboard and that back on here, and then I will grab something to run to see if it can give me what the RAM is that's in the machine and that, and make sure everything is happy. Alright, so I will do that now, and then we'll come back to it. Okay guys, so I found out a simple command that tells me if it sees all the RAM or not. And basically it's the print free command, or print FRE bracket 0 bracket. So that will just tell me how much RAM there is, and how much RAM is free will tell us whether it sees 16K or the 48K. Alright, so I'm just going to do it now. Oh, well, it doesn't seem to work for some reason. It comes up with a question mark. Basic prompt, type foreign command, press enter, print FRE bracket 0. One of it needs to be capitals. Okay, for some reason that's just giving me a question mark rather than anything else, so not very conclusive. I know there is a poke command I can use. I just can't remember what it is. I'll have a little bit more. It's working, but it's not giving me what I want. I'll have a check and see if I can find the poke command for this and see if that gives me anything better. Alright, I will be back soon. Hey guys, so I checked everything out and it all seemed to be okay, except I was getting some weird stuff on the screen when I was typing. And if I put an instruction, like a basic command in, when I hit enter, it was going so many characters back, putting a question mark in the line, inserting it, and then flashing a character in a box at the end. So there's something wasn't quite right. So I had a look and I thought, well, I'll test all the TTL logic that's in sockets. So I pulled these 4 out and checked them, and this back socket here, one of the pins on this side looked like it had been crushed, so I was a little bit wary with that. I checked them all and they all tested fine. I removed the PLA and just checked that socket as well, and put that back in, and I pulled out the RAM and checked the sockets of all the RAM as well, and all those look fine. So it was only this one socket that was a little bit dodgy, which is this one here, which I took out. And when I took it out, pretty much all the pins fell out. Well, half the pins fell out of one side. So I've replaced it with another socket and put the chip back in there. Hopefully this might fix that problem. If not, I have actually put out a call to see if anybody has a test cartridge for this that I can borrow from a local area. If not, I might have to make one and stick it into here. But that means I'm going to have to order some boards, and this close to Christmas, who knows how long it's going to take. So yeah, I was hoping to get this done, dusted and back, but I've done what I said I was going to do for the guy, but he was having funny issues with it, and he thought it was what he had done. It may have been partially, but what this is doing now, I think, is probably part of the original issue. And seeing those sockets from whoever done them before, a little bit worried about it. That there could be more damage on here than what we know about. and hopefully it's not the PLA, because these are getting very hard to get. This is the better one. This is the 7, which is the better PLA that they came out with. It does make a very quiet beep, not a very loud one. So I'm not sure, but I have checked the transistors around this area and they're all fine. Could be caps. I don't know if these have been replaced or not. I haven't asked them. I don't have any coaxial caps, so I'd have to get some in. And as I say, this time of year, it's like it's going to be a while. He did say no pressure, no rush on it, but I'd like to get it done and dusted for him. Alright, so I'm going to put the keyboard back on top and plug it in and see if doing this socket has made a difference to this or not. And if it has, we can button it up and give it back to him. If it hasn't and I'm still having issues with it, then it's going to have to wait until I can get a cartridge to plug into here to test it in some way. Alright, so I'll put this cover back on and we'll have a go at it. And the other thing is too, yes, this does have a new keyboard membrane on it. It doesn't have the old one which has gone brittle. Put my eyes on so I can see what I'm doing. The only thing I don't like about these newer membranes is that they don't have the hard piece of plastic on the other side, which makes it easier to push them in. They're soft all the way down, and I'm not a big fan of that. You can make your own bits of heavier plastic and put them on if you want to. It just means that you know the thing's in there properly. Alright, so I will do this. I will spin you around to see the screen. And what I will do is I will power it on and we'll see what happens. It just takes a wee while for the screen to come up. And it comes up with Sinclair Research. And I'm getting in this corner here, it's a cursor that's inverse, and it's going it's going black, white, and there's a character, a K in it, and it keeps doing that. So now if I actually type, say, like 10, then space, and print, and I'll just take that back, so there's just 10 print. Now if I press enter to get another line, that actually disappeared. Oh no, it's up the top now. Ah, hang on, I'm wondering if that socket had something to do with it. Okay, so what I will do is go clear. No, I don't want that. Okay, so that is very interesting. So that is very interesting in that I have now got the enter, because when I was pushing enter before, it wouldn't move down to the next line. Alright, so now I know I can pull up a program online that will allow me to type in to give me what RAM and that is in this. So this may now be fixed. So I'll be right back, guys. I'll just put you on hold here for a second and I'll jump online and get that program again. Hey guys, so I've tried to find that page I found. It's like a mystery. You find something once and unless you bookmark it, good luck finding it a second time. But I did find something online, and what I can do is I was playing around on the keyboard, and to prove that it is working, I can actually use the paper command to change the coloured screen. So the border will stay the same, and it's just the internal screen. And this is a graphics screen. So what I've done is I've changed the paper to 2, which is red. So I'll just do that, and there we are. So we have red. I will do it. See what we can do it again. We go paper. Try 3. Magenta. So by the looks of it, this is working okay. Let's see if that fixes the colour for you guys. No, it must be the overhead light. So yeah, so that's magenta. Try another quick one. Try 4, which is green. And we have green. It looks blue to you guys, but it is actually green. So it looks like this is working. The colour commands are working. I don't know enough about the spectrum to know how it works. So yeah, I don't know enough about the spectrum basic, and some of these keys you've got to hold down multiple keys and press a key, and yeah, not very nice. So anyway, I think this is working fine, and it was that socket that was playing up with this, because as I said before, I could type stuff in, I hit enter, and I got all sorts of weird stuff. It wouldn't put that line segment up the top and allow me to put the next one in. It just all stayed on the same line. So yeah, I'm picking that's what it was. So I think this is all good and working, so I'm going to, and it does, it's quiet, but I hear the speaker click 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 on the speaker, so that's all good too. So I think we'll call this one good. As far as I can test it, I don't have a cartridge, but if I get one before I take this back to the guy next week, I will test it and let you guys know. Failing that, I'll give it back to him. If it still plays up, I'm probably going to make a test cartridge anyway. It's always good to have these things. You never know when the next one's going to come in. So I should look at doing that for a few of the systems I got, make a test cartridge up. So anyway guys, what I will do is screw this one back together and contact the guy and let him know it's done. And does he want me to post it or drop it out to him? It's about a 35-minute drive from where I am, so I'll see what he wants to do. Alright, so that's this for this, and another good outcome, and it's all fixed. Well guys, there we go. Another one fixed, another one going back to the owner. Hopefully it's fine. He knows more about it than I do. It's just Sinclair's I never got into. The closest I got to Sinclair was way back in my late teens, early 20s. My brother had a ZX81. I still have it. I don't have the RAM cartridge because they were a pain in the neck, and we had to keep chucking in the freezer to cool it down because they would overheat. So anyway, that's a story for another day. But anyway, I don't know enough about the spectrums to test it properly without a cartridge. So I'll give it back to the chappie, and I will see if he's happy with it. And I'll just let him know that I'm going to make a test cartridge. And if he does have issues with it, let me know, and I'll tell him when I've got the cartridge and grab it back off him. Alright guys, so that's another one done and dusted. The parts for the other project I was doing are on their way. For the LED tail light, the MSX, now that was all working fine, and I had issues where it was intermittent on the screen and then it stopped working altogether. So I mucked around with it for ages, and I took it out of the PC, and when you take it out and you just plug it via USB into a PC, you should get a test screen, and I got nothing. And it had me buggered, and I tried different cables and that sort of thing, and no. So I thought, I wonder if one of the LVD's voltage shifters or level shifters had actually gone toes up for me, and I tried changing them around, and I got one, oh, it worked, and then it didn't work, and it's like, and I unplugged it off the board, because it's a Tang Nano development board, and I unplugged it off the level shifter board that goes onto the motherboard, and it sprung to life with the test screen. So to me it sounds like there is something going on in the little daughter board that's causing a grounding issue to cause it not to work. So I have tried changing all of the LVs, and makes no difference. So I don't know if all my chips are faulty or fake. So I've ordered another set, and they've just turned up. But I'm thinking maybe I'll build a new board and try it on a new board. Worth a try. So anyway guys, that's where I am with that. But that's enough for now. I'd just like to say have a great Christmas, because that's not far away. And hopefully you're going to go away somewhere, or have a nice break, and get some lovely little presents. Anyway, as I always say guys, have a great day, have a great week, and until our next visit, ciao.